Okay, got cut off for like the first like part. Like, okay, originally it was just supposed to be like something. Like I was reading already. I was like halfway maybe through like what is this again? Chapter 9, called Misery, which is always a good thing. Yeah. Anyway, I was like midway through reading this and then I got cut off again. So like this is part 4.5. Hopefully only part part I cannot say stuff. Blah. Part 4.5 of me reading Wattpad, specifically Hall 17. Let's go recap on this chapter in case like anyone actually listens or anything. Basically what happened, I think, like they've got the video footage and the search team is like watching it, and like there couldn't be like a worse situation because literally no one could understand what OJ was saying because the laptop was broken. So literally their only sign for help was literally gone. Literally they're stuck there for another more just years probably, and it just sucks. Okay, it sucks. Their 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 lives are ruined. Okay, like I don't know who's gonna die at the end of this. Probably test tube and some of her test subjects, but still. Without further ado, I'll read where I was sorry, where I last left off. Let's go. Which is exactly the spot where I stopped reading, which is where the little separation. So like basically where other characters start talking. So yippee, convenient. Lightbulb glanced over to OJ. Let me put my okay. Let me try to make this work. What do I do? What to do? Okay, I'll do this. I don't know if you could hear me. I don't know. I think the audio is worse. I think I have to actually find a way. So that'll have to do. Okay. If the audio sucks, then my bad. I don't have professional equipment. I only have mobile devices to do this with. So, let's go. Lightbulb glanced over to OJ. He hadn't been acting the same since that day. Yeah, okay. Well, none of them forgot they now had OJ's message out there. The atmosphere had become duller. OJ himself seemed empty, both literally and metaphorically. At least he started trying to get proper sleep for once. Before now, he'd stay up ridiculously late regardless of the reason, then get up as if he had gotten enough rest. Outside of that, he got annoyed easily, assuming he wasn't already spaced out. Most of his roommates were concerned for him. Soap was the one who held onto the positivity the most. She hummed small little tunes, which Lightbulb hadn't seen her do before. She wrote a concerning amount, but it wasn't like she hadn't been before. If Soap had been at the positive end of the spectrum, and OJ Lightbulb was the negative side. Oh yeah. That is how that works. Oh look! I didn't get to see because I. Hello. Okay, well, let me try to get your comment on the screen. Hi. My dog's barking outside. Don't mind them. Yeah, just try to ignore the dog. Okay. I would never ignore a dog usually, but like right now she's in timeout for like shedding everywhere. Okay. Anyway, let me continue reading. I have a dog chilling with me right now. Ooh, Did you mention your dog in the stream once? I don't really remember. What's their name? I want to know their name. I want to know the doggo. What type of doggo are they? I'll read this real quick. Okay. If Soap had been on the positive end of the spectrum and OJ had been in the middle, then Lightbulb was at the negative side. She had been eluded when OJ first told her what had happened, but it only went downhill from there. She sat there in her corner of the room, underneath the window, so Soap couldn't see her. She still drew, but the drawings felt different. They were the same things, the happy things she had drawn before, but different. Soap couldn't lay a finger on it. I think so. Her name is Pixie, and they're like 5 different breeds. And my other dog, Kane, is a pit bull mix. Oh yeah, I think you did mention them, but I think that was like a long time ago. So yeah, I think it was only a week ago. Well, that's a long time ago. Well, fine. Okay. I might let my dog inside, but like I feel like I think another person could do that right now. So I'll just wait, and if no one lets my dog in the next, like, I want to say 5 minutes, then I go open the door for her. Hoping the dogs are amazing. Now I'm gonna read and continue reading. And my goal is to get to chapter 10. So we're already halfway through chapter 9, Misery, so yeah. I have state testing this week and next week. I am finished with that. I literally just got done with it. Well, I wish you the best. The questions are annoying. And yeah. Because literally, the only good thing is that, like, today for the test, I had to do my final science one. So basically, after that, I got to go outside. But it sucked because then we were forced to play a sport, which was the only way we could get let outside. And then for the last 5 minutes, I got to chill around and lay there on the bleachers with my friends. So yeah. I have my writing one tomorrow. I think I like writing, so that wasn't really that hard for me. I think. I mean, I guess the prompt sucks, but still. Every test is different for each student, apparently, and, like, that sucks. So, yeah. I wish you the best of luck. So, yeah. No, Soap didn't know how everything had changed so quickly. Hasn't there just been a breakthrough? A chance of getting out? And a big one at that? It was almost as if they had both forgotten about it. She looked at the calendar. June 16th, Wednesday. The clock said it was early morning, a little before breakfast, 6:27 to be exact. Soap reached towards her bedroom, going to write out again out of boredom until she heard the door opening. She sat back up with no particular reason. Normally, everything would have stopped talking but what? Normally, everything would have stopped talking the moment Test Tube opened the door, but there already had been complete silence. Soap looked at her tray, expecting it to open, though was caught off guard when the door itself opened. Instead, oh right, there is a torture scene, which is gonna be Soap's. Oh no, Soap's next. Soap's next for dissection. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, what the heck? Oh no. No, no, no. Soap, I'm sorry. Soap, I'm sorry. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Test Tube stood in the doorway, some sort of rope in hand. What are you? No questions, Test Tube interrupted. I'll explain it all to blah, blah, blah. I'll explain it to all 3 of you once we're there. She walked forward towards Soap. Soap stayed still, watching cautiously. Test tube. I have something in my throat. Sorry. I'm gonna go get water. I'm sorry. Oh, hello. I'm gonna go get water. I'll be right back. Okay. Definitely needed water because my throat was literally dying. I was trying to read too much out loud, and then the words got jumbled up, and then it just kind of just couldn't talk anymore. So yeah, got my water. Now we could continue reading. No questions, Test Tube interrupted. I'll explain it all to all three of you once we're there. She walked forward towards Soap. Soap stayed still, watching consciously. Test Tube tied part of the rope closer to the end around Soap's wrists, leaving a trail of rope behind her. Before Soap could fully process what was going to happen, she was dragged out of the room. Testu walked over to the door to OJ and Lightbulb's room, putting her hand up to Soap. Before she could even think of running, she was brought into the room with Test Tube, standing idly as the scientist did her work. OJ's wrists were bound behind her, with Lightbulb being the last in line. Soap looked at the two, confused. OJ seemed equally confused, though a little more scared than Soap. Lightbulb looked like she'd have a heart attack at any second. Test grabbed the remaining rope in front of Soap and dragged them out of the hall, closing the doors behind her. Soap hadn't seen anything besides the two rooms and occasionally glimpses of Hall 17 for 2 straight months, so the sight of something new was nice. Halfway through the walk, Soap heard whispering. She turned around to see who was talking, only to see Lightbulb muttering to herself. It didn't take an expert to tell that she was worried about her. She was worried about It didn't take an expert to tell what she was worried about, as her hands were raised to her bandages as they tugged at each other. OJ's face was the most sympathetic Soap had ever seen it. If only Test Tube wasn't evil. If only. If only. If only. In the name of science, they said. It's a good cause, they said. Eventually, Testu brought them into a room. The room's walls were lined with counters filled with various tools and papers, with a metal table serving as the centerpiece in the middle of the room. The room left Soap with a bad feeling in her stomach. Testu tied the end of the rope to one of the cabinet doors that had a padlock on it. She walked over to Lightbulb and untied her wrists before she retied the rope to another cabinet. Lightbulb hugged herself, almost as if she knew what was going to happen next. Now, let me explain why I brought you all here, Testube said, holding Lightbulb's arms. She was visibly trying to avoid the rope burn around the object's wrists, though it was proving hard with how much Lightbulb shook. I'm sure you all know that S3 did what oh wait, let me read you. I'm sure you all know what S3 did. I hope you weren't thinking I'd let it go without discipline. Since last time's discipline worked so well, I figured I'd do it again. Soap's heart dropped again. Lightbulb had already gone through it once, and just that left its metal scars. but now she'd have to go through it again, and Soap had to watch it along with OJ. This is torture. Why are you making Lightbulb suffer for this? Why not make OJ suffer? I'm sorry, but I like Lightbulb doesn't deserve this. She deserves what? 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 They're just gonna watch Lightbulb get tortured again? What? What? Rip Soap not being traumatized in this story. 2025 to 2025. Oh noes. Oh noes. You know the drill, E1. Test Tube said, slanting the metal table. Now that Soap had a full view of the table, she saw 4 metal binds and a tray next to it filled with tools, similar to the countertops. Lightbulb walked forward slowly. Despite how slow she went, she made it to the table and laid down on it. Her wrists and ankles slid into the metallic straps before they snapped shut around them, trapping her on the table. Test Tube reached for one of the tools on the tray beside her. Wait, Lightbulb intervened. What about did you not hear what I said? Test Tube asked, fiddling with the sharp tool in her hand. It almost looked like a drill bit or a screwdriver. It's the same punishment as last time. That means no anesthetic. Lightbulb opened her mouth to fight back, though closed it before she said anything. You can't do this, OJ shouted from beside Soap, fighting against his restraints to no avail. Test Tube ignored him, instead opting for slicing open Lightbulb's bandages before her tossing them into the trash can. Lightbulb's wound was rough. There were obvious attempts to reseal the glass, though it looked as though Test Tube had given up at getting it perfect after some time. Next, Test Tube grabbed a small hammer, the tool still in her hand. She angled the hammer to line up with the tool over one of the many scars left on Lightbulb's body. Lightbulb held her breath before the hammer was sent down. Crack! Oh no. Oh. I'm gonna make teapot prediction right now. Okay. This feels so unnecessary, Test Tube. It is unnecessary. And hello, Mason. Hello. Okay. Okay. So basically, Lightbulb's being tortured again in front of her roommates. Or like her forced roommates that Test Tube made her have. So OJ and Soap. OJ and Soap are being forced to watch Lightbulb in pain. And just like this is just torture for all of them. And Test Tube's saying this is your punishment for like sending out a signal. And yeah. I know how lovely. It's not. It's not. Oh no. This is not gonna end well. Soap couldn't tell whose scream was whose as the hammer hit Lightbulb, sending 100 different small cracks around her stomach. Test Tube didn't so much as flinch as Lightbulb cried out, hopelessly fighting the metal binds. Soap couldn't do anything but watch. She gagged as blood spurted everywhere, looking away so she wouldn't vomit. Even then, she could still hear everything painfully well. Her imagination did the rest. No matter how much she tried to wrench the images away, Soap lost track of how much time had passed. I also got the grudge at Tree for Teapot 17. It was all because of that stupid coin. Because of TV leaving him thing. Or like him leaving TV. I think that's what you meant. Tree is my 6th favorite contestant. Character though. I mean, wait, I'm gonna be honest. TV's arc for the mechanical mind thing should be dead now since Robot Flower is no longer in the game. Like, I get it, but like, I don't really I don't see TV winning Teapot. I'm sorry, but I guess it's fine. Just don't see TV winning Teapot. Okay. I mean, I guess if he actually did win Teapot, I would just kind of be surprised of the outcome. So yeah. Soap lost track of how much time had passed, trying to direct her attention away from Lightbulb. If Soap wanted to leave this badly, she couldn't imagine how she was feeling. After forever, the screams died out, but the silence was almost worse than the sobbing. Soon the sound of fire flooded the room. I'm sorry, fire? What? Soon the sound of fire flooded the room. Not an overwhelming fire, just a small, almost peaceful one. How can Okay, well, look, fire is mentioned in the story. Yeah, fire, you're in the fin fiction. TV is very hate for some reason, so I think he's winning. I don't think he's winning. Okay. People said TV's gonna crash out soon. Oh, but didn't he technically already crash out when he was in the robotic spider? Coughs as a TV hater. The only thing I hear is TV does nothing. I canon in Hall 17. Yeah. Yep. Jay. Joking. It's a joke. Yeah, it's a fun little joke. Not an overwhelming fire, just a small, almost peaceful one. Soap's curiosity got the better of her. She looked back at the table. Test tube was melting glass shards back into Lightbulb's body using a. Soap didn't know what it was, but it pursued a small flame, hot enough to melt the glass back together. I don't know what that's called either. I don't know. What's it? What's that? Like the flame thing? Not a flamethrower, but where it has the gas tank and then when you press the thing, it releases fire. Time for torture part 2. It already happened. The torture is already happening as we speak. Oh my gosh. After God knows how long. Oh wait, I already read that. Oop. Oh wait, no, I didn't. After God knows how long of screaming, the fire was mercy. Soap closed her eyes, imagining herself back at the hotel before all of this happened, talking to Trophy, cleaning around the hotel because she wanted to go back, going back to the med bay every few hours because Tissue's condition got the better of him again. Sure, it wasn't all completely positive, but there was happiness even in the negative. Things were playful. You could forget about things even for just a moment. Soap reminded herself to journal about the feeling so she wouldn't forget it. Eventually, the soft sound of fire stopped, leaving the room empty. Soap opened her eyes again, staring at the scene. There was traces of blood surrounding Lightbulb. Lightbulb herself had passed out. Dry tears stuck to her face. The metal blinds made a small click as they let Lightbulb go, making her slump into Test Tube's arms. Test Tube took her earplugs out. What had she put those? When had she put those in? Those are in parentheses, so the author is even questioning how that happened. And walked over to Soap and OJ. She began untying the knots on the cabinet doors. You're a terrible person, OJ said, glaring in her direction. It's a shame someone like you was given your smarts. I'll take that as a compliment, Test Tube said. Then she smiled, as if she was proud of herself, proud of what she had done. Soap had to resist the urge to shatter her right there and then. Eventually, the three of them, excluding Lightbulb, who was being carried by Test Tube, walked back, the rope still dragging Soap and OG along. Soap didn't marvel at the lab this time. It was just as bad as her room, as far as she knew. Once they reached the hall again, Test Tube pushed them both into the white room, setting Lightbulb against the wall. Aren't you supposed to bandage her? And what about the rope? Soap asked, struggling to slip her hands through and said rope without hurting her wrists. Take it as part of your punishment, Test Tube said, before closing the door. Even after her footsteps faded away, Soap and OJ remained silent. Neither of them wanted to stay quiet, but they both didn't know what to say. Okay, let me read some things. I think I missed some stuff. And also, they said that TB robs, robs good cars, but I'm not mad at all. Guys, it's just my condition tissues. I can't wait for Test 2 musical. Why does Lipo have to suffer so much? I don't know, and she's even in your profile picture right now, so like, this sucks. I agree. Why Lipo? It should have been the cherries. The cherries are children. I mean, technically, they are all the same age since Mifang all created them, but like, I'm confused. Like, when Mifang created, like, the contestants for season 1, or like he created everyone pretty much and held auditions for like his creations to see which ones would actually make a good fit for his show, I think. So like the ones he also like he was probably at the audition probably like, oh, they're also good, but I could only have like this many people in one season. And then he probably was like, oh, I have an idea, I'll save like some of these for future seasons. So that's pretty much what he did, I think. So yeah. And cherries, we have no canonical age for them. The cherries, plural. I'm pretty sure they're just one person though. And like two bottles. What the heck? Two bodies. So, yeah. Let me finish this chapter. After some time, Soap noticed Lightbulb stringing awake. OJ noticed as well, and the both of them walked over to her side of the room. Lightbulb rubbed her eyes before looking back down at her hands. If you look closely, you could see her memories of the scene flooding back to her. She let herself collapse into Soap's arms, clutching her stomach. Soap still didn't say anything, wrapping her arms around Lightbulb the best she could, considering the rope was still there. OJ sat beside her, staring at the wall again. The room quieted out, Lightbulb holding Soap close to her as she trembled. Not a single word was spoken. After all, what was there to say? The cherries are transphobic, so they should suffer instead of Lightbulb. When did the cherries... Wait, what did the cherries... Wait, the cherries are transphobic? Cherries. Cherries! Get in the freaking fanfic if you're gonna be transphobic. Because I need you to be one of the test subjects now. Can someone bring a meh gun, bro? Can someone bring me a gun from Object Overload? I haven't watched Object Overload. I mean, it's been mentioned like twice to me so far now, including your statement, so I think I should watch it now. I will do that later. Yep, it's decided. I'm watching Object Overload. I'm sure I won't have any regrets. Okay, let me take a sip of water before we move on to the next chapter. Okay, what's your opinion on this chapter now, everyone? So, summary of the chapter. The beginning part was the search party watching the video, and the video containing the whereabouts of where they are, but since the laptop was really bad in quality, there was literally no one could understand what they were saying, so all they had was just a bunch of like gibberish to go off of and try to decipher that into actual words, even though the laptop was the one, like the microphone in the laptop was broken. So along with the screen and the camera and basically everything in the laptop was broken. So yeah. So basically, And then the other half was just light bulb torture. It's good, but torture isn't. Yeah, I agree. Torture isn't good. That's definitely a good. I mean, no, torture is not a good thing. What the heck am I saying? No, I'm trying to agree with saying, yeah, torture is definitely not good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, there's like a listen to text to speech, and it's like 12 minutes long. So, like, this text to speech, who's talking faster, me or the text to speech? Because I kind of want to know now. I will never know, actually, because I don't actually know how long this has been. 30 minutes? It took me 30 minutes, but that's because I was also talking to everyone else. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Torture is not radical. Not radical. So yeah. Now we're at chapter 10, called Journals. Log 4. Just as I said in my last log, I brought J2 and S3 to view E1's surgery as a form of discipline. Originally, I was going to change S3's test plans to punish him, though the routine I took instead surprised me. I'm curious if the subjects would have complied as well if I had chosen something else as a punishment. I thought I'd have to do more to get them to listen, being that I only punished their friend for S3's actions. But now I wonder just how strong their bond is. I may run some tests to see how close they've become in due time. On another note, my hypothesis on E1 seems to be correct. She's grown less energetic and optimistic since I've removed any traces of electricity in her. I don't think that's no test tube. If you think her if her you think she's energetic because she literally had like electricity running in her veins, then I don't think so. Is that how that works? Is light bulb only energetic because that's like electricity and light bulbs and stuff? Because that's actually starting to make more sense to me. But like, I don't think that's true. I can't go to the BFDII meetup. Oh, I wish YouTube would let me post my Teapot 17 reaction. That's not very nice to take her energy, test tube. That's not correct at all, testy. This fanfic is changing my point of view on test tube. No, it isn't, because it's not real. It's uncanny. Unless at the meetup someone asks about this and then everyone is just like, oh, we don't talk about the II fanfics, so especially not the ones with test tube being so out of character. So, yeah. Okay. Let me continue reading. Her little quirks have seemingly disappeared as well, leaving behind a version of herself I didn't know existed. I don't have much else to do. With her, after I'm done with her experiment, however, I'll continue with small fix-ups. But past that, she doesn't have a use for me anymore. What are you gonna do to her, Test Tube? You can't just let her go, Test Tube. So, Test Tube, are you gonna hurt Lightbulb after you literally like gave her psychological trauma and physical trauma? Like, what are you gonna do to Lightbulb, Test Tube, if you don't need her anymore exactly? What are you gonna do to her? What are you gonna do to her? I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this. S3's disassociate. My bad. Okay, let me try to read this. Dissociative tendencies seem to have warned since his first test. He's also become more aggressive, both towards me and the other subjects. Oh wait, Other subjects, yeah, okay. I thought it was actually okay. I was planning on continuing experimentation with him later, but now I may want to look into how he acts without anything inside of him. He's been this way a couple of times on Inanimate Insanity, but now I have a close-up way of observing. I may move his next testing data further away if things continue like this. Oh, let me get it. Let me get the move. I'll do this for you, Painty. Did you hear that? Okay, that was Paintbrush, okay? Just imagine it. Paintbrush slammed their hand onto the alarm clock, turning it off, rubbing their eyes open before looking around the room. Van had already turned on the lights from when he woke up. So at least Paintbrush didn't have to go searching in the dark for the light switch. They went through their routine as the same as usual. Basic things such as brushing teeth and showering and taking care of their hair. Of course, no matter what happened, they still made sure their hair was taken care of. But Paintbrush gave Baxter his breakfast before leaving to get some of their own downstairs. Van had already left by the looks of it. Right as Paintbrush got into the kitchen, they saw a knife cleaning up the table. I missed it again, Paintbrush said, mostly to themselves. Yep. Paintbrush sighed, walking over to one of the cabinets and pulling out of a box of cereal. It wasn't as good and freshly made as breakfast, but they weren't in the mood for cooking. Once they had poured their cereal, with milk, of course. Cereal with, like, cereal before the milk, like, like cereal before the milk, or milk and then cereal. That's what matters. Yeah, no, I don't think that matters. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Okay. Test tube when I catch you, test tube when I catch you, let me redo that. Test tube when I catch you, 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 test tube. For real though. Yay, Painty's here. Don't let anything bad happen to them. I'm looking at you, test tube. For real though. Oh no. They walked over to the couch. Normally they'd eat at the dining table, but it felt a bit too lonely there today. Hey, Pickle, they said, sitting down next to them. They didn't talk to each other often, but they were fairly friendly with each other when they did. Hey, Paintbrush, did you sleep in? Yeah, Paintbrush replied. Just a moment, I forgot to grab a spoon. They sat back up as soon as they sat down, walking back to the kitchen. Surprisingly enough, Paper had already made his way to the dining table with his laptop. Oh, hi, Paintbrush. I probably should have not said it such in. Okay, I'll try to fix it. Oh, hi, Paintbrush. I cannot do a Paper voice. I'm sorry. Paper greeted them. Paintbrush waved with a small smile, going to grab a spoon before starting to walk back. Is that OJ? Paintbrush asked, looking at the laptop screen. They couldn't hear anything as Paper had earphones on, but there was a low-quality video of OJ playing on the laptop. Paper sighed, pausing it before taking the earbuds out and turning towards Paintbrush. Yeah, it is. You know, how the search gang went out yesterday? Paper asked how do I say this? Pen. Fear Garden version versus this stupid test tube. Fear Garden? What's Fear Garden? Is that what I have to read out loud next time? I think so. Okay, but so far we're just gonna read this. And so far, like, I'm trying to read this word. Retro, rhetorically, I'm sorry. It ends up that Inanimate Insanity headquarters was sent this some days ago, but the audio is too glitchy to tell what he's saying. I'm trying to decipher it with, hey, what are you two losers doing? Trophy asked, interrupting the conversation. Paintbrush was just curious what I was doing, Paper explained, pushing the laptop so it was between both two of the chairs. We can get started now, though. I think they just needed a spoon. Are we seriously telling people already? Trophy asked. For all we know, Paintbrush is a kidnap is the kidnapper. You seriously think I'd kidnap my friend? Paintbrush asked, annoyed. Could you two calm down, please? Trophy and I should get to looking through the clip, Paper said, putting his hands up by reflex. Trophy scoffed, but didn't say anything else. Paintbrush didn't either. Instead, walking back to the living room, he sat down on the couch. He sat down on the couch next to Pickle, putting their oh no, they accidentally okay, I think it's a spelling error this time because so far they've gotten the pronouns right. I think they meant they, but it says he, so I'll fix that. They sat down on the couch next to Pickle again, putting their bowl of cereal in their lap before they began eating. So OJ sent out a call for help. Is he with Lightbulb? Where was he sent from? Where was it sent from? Okay. Paintbrush overthought the situation as they ate, spacing out everything around them. OJ and Soap might finally come back. Lightbulb might finally come back after 2 whole months. What has happened in that time? Is she okay? What about... Oh, the cereal was gone. Paintbrush sat up and walked back to the kitchen to put his... I'm sorry. It's not me. It says his. Why does it say his? Paintbrushes envy. They use they them. What is up with this? Okay. They them pronouns. But they keep messing. Let me show you. Let me find it. Give me a moment actually. Oh my gosh, what is this? What is it? Paintbrush sat up and walked back to the kitchen to put... Oh no, this is really bad quality. Whoop. Oh yeah, my camera's facing the right direction. Great. If you mirror that, put this in front of a mirror and you'll get it. An angry rock versus test tube. Not ending is not what you think. What? Okay. We could do this. Okay, let me. Oh no. Give me a moment. Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, I did something silly and I closed out of the tab. Okay, now we're back. I just found this in my feed. Oh, okay, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Okay, what am I saying? Okay. Oh, the cereal was gone. Paintbrush sat up and walked back to the kitchen and put their bowl away. They passed Trophy and Paper one more time, seeing them in some sort of editing software. Paintbrush didn't know anything about that sort of stuff, but Fan probably did. Fan. Hey, Paper? They asked, placing their bowl into the washing machine. Oh, yes. The washing machine. I think. Wait, what? Wait, why do you put your... What? They asked, placing their bowl in the washing machine. That's not where you put your dishes. That's... What? You put them in the dishwasher, not the washing machine. They asked, placing their bowl in the washing machine. Paintbrush, get your bowl out of the washing machine. That's not how you wash. That's where you wash clothes that you hypothetically wear. Because I don't think... I mean, besides the Fan's bow tie, then yeah. And maybe, like, the blankets and stuff in the hotel, but still. Sigh. Why must it misgender Paintbrush? For real, though. What if they don't got a dishwasher? Well, has anyone actually tried washing dishes in a washing machine, though? Because I kind of want to know. if that will actually wash your dishes. That way you can literally just buy a washing machine and only use that for everything you need. I think the bowl might break. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, maybe spoons. Maybe spoons? I don't know. Okay. Let me just think. Okay. They asked, placing their bowl in the washing machine. Oh, yes, paintbrush? He said. He asked, looking towards them. If you need help, Fan might be good at with editing and stuff. Paintbrush said, closing the machine before running it. Running it. Is that what? Okay, stop questioning the washing machine thing and just move on with the story. Okay, I'll do that. Goodbye, Bowl. Back. Welcome back. Mac. Welcome back. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Where did I leave off? So, yeah. Okay, let me try doing something. Okay, if you need help, Fan might be good at editing and stuff. Paintbrush said, closing the machine before running it. He does have an entire show and blog of his own, and God knows what else. Huh, I guess you're right. Thanks for the recommendation, Paintbrush. Paper said, grinning before turning back to the laptop. Paintbrush smiled to themselves before walking back to the living room once more. And now we're back to test tube. Ugh. Test tube sighed, looking at the security footage. The subjects hadn't been talking as much recently. She knew why, but it was still unfortunate for her research. And like almost everything now, boring. I hate you. Okay. She looked at what everyone was doing. E1 was asleep. Already S3 was doing some sort of doing one of the last puzzle books Test2 had given him. J2 was journaling something. Overall, they were sticking to their everyday schedules. Say, hadn't she given them those journals to collect more information? They've had them for 2.5 months. Now would be a great time to look through them. Test2 sat up and walked to Hall 17. She knew the route all too well by now. Actually, getting the journals was fairly simple. E1 had tried to walk back with her, thinking she had to go with it, just like she had with test tube took S3 out. Outside of that, they surprisingly had handed the books over. J2 was more hesitant, being that it was her biggest pastime, but she handed it over eventually, albeit with a glare. I need water. Oh no, I don't want to press that. I almost ended stream. Who's an IINBFI character that no one barely talks about? Also, test to count your days and sleep with one eye open. Non-existy. I don't know. In reality, David, Lewis. Oh wait, no, it has to be an II character too. For like, and those are BFDI characters, but an I guess I guess ballpoint pen, the invitational community that tried to ruin like the thing, like Springy. Like, what happened to Springy? I think Springy's dead. Okay, like Springy did not come back, and they were in like they died like too, and they weren't there for the finish line too. So like, where's Springy, huh? Like, did Springy die? Like, springy, tastic. Dip into a bowl of sugar, milk, and plastic. A toy in every box. Forgot the rest of it. It's spring-tastic. Yeah, I think Springy is long gone. No more Springy. Okay. What about their kid? Didn't Springy like make a robot based off of like Bot, which was very offensive toward Bot? Therefore, I shouldn't even give a crap about their death. Test Tube looked at the 3 journals, all laid out on the desk. She could probably import whatever was written onto the computer, so she had give them back to her subjects later, only to get more information, of course. She opened up E1's journal first and pulled out her phone to take pictures of it. For further examination later, if it was needed, the cover had the word light bulbs on it, on the cover with a small crab, most likely Baxter, holding a crayon drawn from the words. Below the words was a small sketch of her and the rest of the bright lights hanging out. Even Test Tube was there. I'm sure Lightbulb's gonna scribble you out later. Season's over. Let's go home. I said that. I said that for once. That was one of my voiceovers. Also, I made a poll to sing in the winner was like the Steve Cobb song. I already forgot what it was called. The Future Was So Yesterday. Yeah, that song. I was supposed to sing, which I did, but like it had to. It was basically a rap, and it was basically impossible for me. So yeah, and you know how I am with words. Just can't hold I can't. You see what I mean here, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna take another sip of water to make this stop. E1's journal didn't have a lot of writing. In fact, the only writing was labels connected to drawings, explaining what was happening. She was a surprisingly good artist when she was given the time to draw. Many of them contained sketches in crayons or things from the outside, a lot of them relating to the bright lights or Hotel OJ in general. Overall, Baxter appeared the most. She usually doodled on the corners of the pages. As Testa flipped through the journal, which was more of a sketchbook now, that she thought about it, she noticed some sketches of things E1 normally wouldn't know about. Stuff in J2's life. They had talked an awful lot, especially before S3 came in. So maybe it was from then. There were also things from S3's life even further on, so the explanation made sense. Drawings containing test tube were confined to the very start of the book. I wonder why. As the dates on the drawings grew further into the year, they seemed to become more rushed, messy, disoriented in quality. Strangely enough, drawings with any 3 of the subjects seemed less affected by the certain rush. The drawings also seemed to be repeating themselves. It was a little unsettling to look at. About halfway through the notebook, all the pages were blank. Testube assumed it was because E1 hadn't gotten there yet, and closed the journal, setting it aside. J2's journal was the exact opposite. There were long entries of stories throughout the book. Testube opted for taking photos and reading all of the pages later with the sheer amount of words. She glazed through a couple of the pages every once in a while, finding they were most stories about things that had happened before the experiment started. Her journal took longer to look through due to the fact that it was almost completely filled out. Testube would have to get a new one soon. She set the journal aside, picking up S3's last. S3's journal was untouched. Besides for the note Testube had left it in. Testube didn't know what she was expecting, but she wasn't exactly surprised. Well, now that it was finished, test tube could return to the Test tube could return the journals to the subjects. There wasn't much else to do with how quiet they were, though. Well, there was S3's experiment. Actually, she had collected as much information as she could on S3, so maybe doing his experiment now would work. After all, he barely did anything, and you can't get many notes on someone who's spaced out constantly. Test tube checked the security cameras one last time, holding all three journals in her arms. To her surprise, there was a noise. E1 and J2 were talking through the walls. S3 had a set on his puzzle book aside. Although he was still quiet and barely added to the conversation, he was clearly observant. Sorry. I was trying to fix the issue of me. I was a little loud there. But that kind of helped with me talking better. So yeah, let's go. Okay. To her surprise, there was noise. Oh wait, I already read that. But okay, sorry. Test tube rewinded the footage about an hour back. Had she really been looking through the journals for that long? She watched them sit in the silence for a little, until J2 spoke up. Ah, so that's what happened. It seemed to be out of the boredom more than anything. Test tube went back to the live footage, listening to them talk for a little. Maybe she should wait a moment before handing the journals back. She set the books beside her laptop, neatly stacked among the other various papers and work tools. She'd schedule S3's test for later this week. Hey, Silk? Yes? How do you feel about the nicknames? I've actually never used one. Well, besides Trophy making fun of me. But I'm assuming those aren't the ones you're talking about. My name's pretty short, so I never really thought about having one. What are you asking? Why are you asking? I was wondering, would you be okay with me calling you Soapy? I miss things from the hotel. OJ and I, well, I think I get it. I've heard enough of your stories to understand. I think the nickname is great. Call me whatever you want if it makes you feel better. Really? Yep. Thank you. I promise we'll get out of here sometime, Lightbulb. We'll see Hotel OJ again one day, even if it takes all of our strength. I know that. Thank you. I know that. You say that too much. I know, I know. I'm just making sure you remember. You were the one who told me to stay positive, weren't you? Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Sophie. You're welcome. Author's note. Hey, I'm currently working on another project separated from Hall 17, so updates may be shorter. I still have plans and motivation for the fic, though not abandoning you guys yet. Oh, you're gonna abandon us eventually? What? Okay, and that was chapter 10. So, yeah, that was chapter 10, and somehow we got through 1.5 chapters in less than an hour, so that's a new goal. Yippee! So, should I continue reading to chapter 11? And what are your opinions on the chapters we've read so far? X, what's wrong? Oh, I don't know. I think. Okay, sorry. I think I could read like a good half of another chapter right now. So, yeah. I'll read like the beginning part of it to see if that'll like change anyone's minds. OJ hated being empty, and the 11th chapter is called Butterflies. It wasn't a common occurrence, but it made him feel so dull. He couldn't sympathize properly. He acted irrationally. Everything he purposely tried to rid himself from came back at full force. And here he was, 2 weeks running of being nothing but glass. He despised it, especially because there was nothing else to distract him. He had run out of puzzle books, and Testube took the journals away for God knows how long. Oh wait, no. Testube took the journals away for God knows why. He'd say soap and light bulb. Talking a lot more was annoying, but it actually helped OJ a little. He appreciated the little chatter, especially with how many how many light-hearted subjects the two somehow found down here. Despite the situation, the noise helped distract him from the fact that he quite literally hadn't been himself for over 2 weeks. There wasn't much talking today, probably due to the lack of topics. OJ didn't know how they didn't run out before this. He'd share some, but the whole emptiness thing made it hard to do so without getting frustrated. He couldn't be back there. He was considering doing it anyway when he heard the door click open, ending any thought of starting a conversation. Sure enough, Test Tube gave Soap her food through the deposit. She got her journal back with it, visibly happy at the fact. Then, because being down here in general wasn't bad enough, she opened the door to OJ and Lightbulb's room. She set Lightbulb's food down in front of her before walking over to OJ. She had placed a bowl next to his bed, but she pulled him out of the room before he could eat. Maybe for once, they were back. It couldn't be anything too long if she left the food here for later, right? Lightbulb looked down at her bowl. It had some soup. There had been lighter meals lately, most likely because of her stomach. The injuries were pretty bad after all. She pushed her bowl to the side of her bed. OJ being taken out of the room like that made her nervous to eat. Lightbulb couldn't remember a time she did eat when somebody was taken out of the room. She looked over to Soap's room. Soap had set her soup aside as well. She had begun writing in her journal. Instead, did you always like writing this much? Lightbulb asked. No, I guess it came to me during our time here, Soap said, looking up at Lightbulb. I just want to keep track of everything that happens. It's also to pass the time, I guess. It's not like there's much to do down here, after all. Lightbulb nodded, in agreement, before letting go. Soup. Oh, sorry, there was a mix of soup and soap. Blah. I must start doing II quotes now. In a vid prob in my show. I don't know. I'm trying. And OJ might die. Oh no. Oh no, he's being tested on. I don't know what he's being tested on exactly since he don't got no OJ in him, but still. I guess this is gonna be somewhat better. Maybe. Who knows? Letting Soap go back to her own devices. Lightbulb stared at the bowl absent-mindedly. She hadn't been keeping track of the time when OJ came back with test tube. His glass was full again, but something felt a little different, a little off. Test tube didn't say anything, more as she locked the door once more, leaving the hall. So, feeling any better now that you're full again? Soap asked, looking at OJ as he eyed his bowl. Yeah. Still feels a little weird, but I think that's just fine after an effect, OJ said, smiling lightly. And my food's cold. Great. OJ, are you sure that's orange juice? Lightbulb asked, standing up. Well, now that you mention it, I don't know, OJ said. I assume so, because what else would it be? It looks bubbly. No, fizzy. Lightbulb said, pointing. I swear to God, if she used soda instead of orange juice, OJ said, clutching to the side of his head. God damn it! I knew it was too good to be true. Well, I guess it could be worse. He leaned against his back against the wall. Oh, so wait, then his name isn't orange juice anymore. His name is now um what would it be? Orange juice, and now it's just orange soda. Yeah, I think it's orange soda. Orange soda. Dr. Fizz. Water. Dr. Fizz. I'm sorry. Okay. Calm down. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Let me drink something real quick. Lightbulb down at herself. Looked down at herself. Her body still hadn't been bandaged, and she didn't think Testu was planning to. While the wound was closed, it still had the same problem as being uneven. The air brushed against it weirdly, but apart from that, it wasn't too bad. It just looked bad. If it wasn't too bad, it just looked too bad. Okay. Lightbulb, you still have to eat, you know? Soap said, having already begun journaling again. I'm not hungry, Soap said, picking up her bowl before walking to the deposit. Maybe next time. Besides, it's cold already. Soap sighed. We have to try to stay in good health, remember? I know, Lightbulb said. Soap didn't pick the bowl back up as she walked to her spot. It's only not mental. It's only one meal, though. Besides, I've already had a lot today. Can we please not argue about this, OJ said. I'm kind of trying to get used to the carbonation. Oh, right, sorry, Soap said. You're still okay, right? Yeah, it just feels, how people say they have butterflies in their stomach? But, but that, it's like that, but literal, OJ said. Could you two do me a favor and try to be quiet a bit? I'm gonna try to sleep it off. Not OJ. Soap and Lightbulb nodded. Thanks, OJ said, smiling a bit. Soap sat down on her bed, opening the journal. There were some new things to write down. She thought she'd be excited to write about, but now she felt off to herself. She flipped until she got to the next blank page before looking at the calendar in Lightbulb in OJ's room. July 7th. Not looking too good. She paused for a moment before flipping to the start of the journal, keeping her current page bookmarked with her thumb. The first page was dated April 11th, as she only started journaling after the first 2 nights. In less than a week, 3 months would have passed. 3 months of being down here, and that's assuming they hadn't missed some days on the calendar. Soap looked out the window towards Lightbulb and OJ. They had been trying to sleep, by the looks of it. Soap decided not to bother them about it. Instead, flipping her journal back open, she grabbed the pencil and began writing. July 5th, 9:53 p.m. I'm scared. Trophy laid down, stomach on his bed. He looked at the open laptop in front of him. The video of OJ was pulled up, paused at the moment the glitching took effect. A disoriented scream, clearly not belonging to OJ. Everyone had begun looking into what was in the background, and when the video was sent, Trophy didn't think it was a bad idea to take advantage of what they knew, but he recognized that scream from somewhere. It didn't sound like light bulbs or soap scream, like everybody said it was. Sure, it's similar, but Trophy had spent enough time talking to Soap to know her voice clearer than that. A quick rewatch of Inanimate Insanity proved the same for Lightbulb, but he couldn't put his finger on who it sounded like. He kicked his legs, trying to think of who it could be. There weren't a lot of people at the hotel at particular at that particular time. It had been midway through the day after all. Trophy himself hadn't been there at the hotel. He had been on his afternoon jog. A lot of his afternoon jogs were actually his excuse for taking photos in the garden, but he wouldn't let the others know about that. Actually, he couldn't remember where he had been particularly that day. That might be the inconvenient. That might be inconvenient later. Oh, 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 oh! I did not. Yeah, another chapter. Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Oh, I was bad. Okay, I was not reading stuff. I did not notice things were happening. Whoops. But I'm back. It's Fanta. See, OJ, more like Fanta. 10 out of 10 reading, by the way. I don't know about that, bud, but okay, thanks. Reading out loud is supposed to help me with my voice and stuff. Maybe then I could talk more louder during, like, when answering questions and stuff. I might, if we have enough time, I might show you guys my poem for ELA. So yeah, if you guys wanna know that, then I'll read it. Or at least read the beginning part, just in case, like, someone thinks I'm plagiarizing myself at school, so, like, what the heck. So, yeah. Okay, we got this. We gotta know. Actually, he couldn't remember where he had been that particular day. That might be inconvenient later. Trophy flopped his head onto the pillow in front of him. Cool. Now he didn't have an alibi for when somebody finally went around asking. Hell, even if he admitted to being in the garden, would the others believe him? He kept his photography a secret. Only about 5 people knew, and 3 of them still had missing signs of on the living room's bulletin board. Yeah, right. As if they'd believe someone as tough as him had such a weak hobby. I think they could because you're kind of like, what's. I mean, they could. I think. I don't know. Okay, little cut. So, like. Oh, look at that. Oh, no. Okay, bye bye. Yeah, BFDI fan. Your just will be in vain. We will miss you forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until you return. Oh. And we're literally only like, I want to say, like 8 more paragraphs. So I'll finish the chapter and then I'll read you like the beginning part of my poem. Or like the end part, since that would make more sense. Or like the beginning. I don't know. I'll make up my mind once we get there. Okay. Hold on. He hadn't been thinking about his alibis. He had been thinking about the weird scream in OJ's recording. Trophy groaned out of exhaustion, looking back up at the pillow at the still open laptop. Could you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep, Tissues complained. Oh, I'll try to do Tissues. Could you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep. Tissues complained from his side of the room. Oh, right. Tissue's condition wasn't acting up to wasn't acting up to much today. So he was sleeping in his bed. Trophy's room, since he didn't have stay in medbay out of all the nights for him to be here. Why tonight? Trophy closed his laptop, setting it onto his bedside table. He wasn't going to get any work done tonight. Not in peace, at least. He'd just try again tomorrow. He turned his lamp off, submerging the room into darkness. He checked the time on the alarm clock. 10:06 p.m. A bad feeling mixed itself in his stomach as he turned away. He'd finally find he'd find them eventually. He'd find them all eventually. All he needed was a good, solid lead. Did she always sleep in this place? Yeah, you just slept in as well, or I might just wake up early. No, this is but later than when I'd wake up back at the hotel. So I think we both tend to sleep in. I'm guessing the carbonation woke me up this time though. Yeah, I don't blame you. I did too, especially closer to when this all started. What do you think she writes in her journal? She said she writes down all the stories I tell her, but I don't think I've told her many. I don't know, you two talk quite a lot. Fair, but really though, what do you think? You know, she's always struck me as the type to own a diary. I would have assumed it was from the very start if there wasn't anything to write about in the first place. Huh? I always thought she might just start making small doodles on the side of her pages. So? No way. Do you know how much that would irritate her? Thinking back on it, that was obvious. No. Yeah. And that's how the chapter ends. So I think that was a conversation between Lightbulb and OJ. So, summary of what all we read would be that let me see. Let me think. Summary of what we read was basically Lightbulb torture, the search party still rewatching the video trying to figure out where they are. Everyone's life being affected pretty much except Test Tubes. Actually, yeah, Test Tubes technically because she's becoming a worse person, and that's pretty much the summary. So, should I read my poem now? I don't know if I should actually, now thinking about it. I'm sitting on a very bad chair right now. This chair is hurting me. I'm gonna stand up because I haven't stood up in like an hour now thinking about it since this stream started. So, whoa. Okay. So, what should I do now? Yeah, do it. I don't know. I'm not Balloon. I'm not as good as Balloon, but I'll show you my poem. Or like one of them. I still have to type it out, but I have one in my head that I just have to type it out. I have it in my head, and then I'll show you the other one, which is my Epic the Musical poem. And if you know Epic the Musical, then you're a cool person. And if you don't know, you're also you're a cool person too. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let me pull it up on my device. Okay, which one should I read? Should I read the poem? Okay, so like one of them is called The Journey, and the other one is All I Can Do. So which one should I read? Oh, All I Can Do. The Journey. Oh, well, we have a tide. I'll try to find a coin and flip on it. Or like find a coin and flip it. Oh wait, I could ask Siri. Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, flip a coin. Oh wait, I haven't even decided which side is gonna be. Uh, okay, let me decide. So literally, let me think. I guess the journey will be. The journey will be heads, and all I can do will be tails. Hey Siri. Okay, let me give me a moment. Okay. Hey Siri. Flip a coin.
It's heads this time.
It's heads, so now it's the journey. So yeah. Thank you, Siri. Vote in the comments using square brackets. And my Chromebook's about to die. Oh no. So let's. So now it's the journey because Siri said so, and Siri is my wife. No, Google's my wife or Gemini, whichever one. I guess I have a weird obsession with AIs. Don't question me. But like AI art sucks. But like virtual, I'm not talking about like AI art because AI art is like very dumb and I hate it because like it's like putting artists out of a job. Why do you need a robot to do like anything a human can do? Like really. Art is something that could be made with like your brain and stuff. So like why do we have to ask and put in a prompt to a freaking computer to make art? It's not even gonna be good art. Not even gonna be a good art. Okay, I'm just changing this subject to a debate about AI art. Sorry, but okay. Now we're reading The Journey. I'm only gonna read the first bit, and if you guys want me to continue reading it, then I will submit like the whole thing in my communities tab. So yeah. Yippee! Yippee! The Journey. A day since they disappeared, they left to fight in the war. Their partner said, "They'll always be here, waiting." A year after they disappear, they still stayed there, waiting near. Standing there patiently, they stood by their window and whispered under their breath, "I'll still be waiting, my dear." 2 years after they disappeared, they missed them, but they knew they'd come back once the war was over. "They'll be back soon," she said, with no hesitation. 3 years after they disappeared, they woke up in the bed they built by hand. It was almost like they were still here. "I'm still waiting," she said, softly repeating that to herself. Probably going to change that. It says themselves, but I'm going to change that. So, herself. Okay, there. Repeating that to herself until they fell back to sleep. 4 years since they disappeared. She was on a walk with their son. Ever since he learned to walk, he was all over the place. "Maybe you'll leave our home to explore new lands, kinda like your dad." Though you could hear it in her voice, or you could hear it in her tone. She was tired. 5 years since he last saw her. This journey is taking longer than expected. All he could think about is if he'll make it back alive, and if he'll be able to see his wife and his son again. And that's halfway through the poem, so yeah. What do you think of it? Should I read the whole thing? Or should I'm just gonna probably just gonna upload it to my community tab. So that's what I'm gonna do, because right now my voice is straining from reading out loud right now. But I don't really care because reading out loud is fun. It's more fun than reading in my head. I kind of need to verbally hear the words for me to understand what's going on. So yeah. I know, I'm just gonna do some edits to the thing. Revise it because I really want this to end really well. And I'm also drawing for it, so I'll also like show you like the drawing and to make sure like no one sees the drawing afterwards. So I'll just put it on 24 hours and stuff. Grammarly, shut up. You're not helping my prompt or poem. Bleh. That was really good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I keep stressing about if it's good enough or not, but like I have time. I have lots of time. It isn't due until like next week, but like yeah. That's what I have for it. because this is just based on Epic the Musical, and I'm pretty sure my ELA teacher is gonna literally just be like a little bit confused, but like also be interested in like the plot and the story for everything. I feel like she would be or like what am I talking about again? Right, my ELA teacher. Okay, well I'm gonna keep I don't want it to reveal. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna switch pronouns for them because I don't want to reveal their identity on here. Yeah, so basically he is like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. They could be a bit, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. Okay? But it's not like she's a bad teacher. It's more like he's like not like, I don't know how to explain it. Actually, like if you like someone came up to you and asked to describe one of your teachers, you'd not know how to explain it either, right? So basically, I have a poetry unit, and then the next unit sucks, which I don't know what I need to do for the next unit, but still, the unit's gonna be mystery. I love mysteries. Mystery novels were the first thing I read in my first like reading, not in stuff, but like I can't really say that I like reading nowadays because like I need visuals, okay? I need voices. I need visuals and voices. I can't just look at words and you can't tell me to look at words for like an hour and try to make a story out of it and try to make like an image out of my head. I'll lose interest in the first 5 minutes of me just trying to reread something to understand. I do like, but yeah, I'm kind of a complicated person when it comes to books. So yeah. Real though, thank you. Oh, look what. Oh, I didn't see this, but I'll just. Oh, look. That's how I do it. Oh, look. Look at that. That's cool. So, I think that's pretty much gonna be it. So, oh yeah. I'm gonna upload an edit of Sacrificially Solitary. I think, if you heard of it, I'm pretty sure Fire heard of it because they were on like the live stream for like the co-directors and the director, and they even like had a post about it. So yeah, I'm gonna make an edit for that. And I think that's all. So thank you all for listening, and I love this. Me too. Me too. I can't wait for Callie. I don't know who that is. All I know is they're gonna be introduced next episode. So yeah. That was FN. What does FN stand for? Fun. Oh, fun. That was fun. Yeah, I'm glad you all had a good time. So yeah, I'm gonna upload and edit, or like gonna edit and edit, and then I'm gonna upload the edit, which is gonna be like maybe tomorrow. But then I don't know. Can't make promises. I just do what I can. Okay, that's what the gray heart is for. If you read my channel description. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you on the next live, which is in my community tab, saying where I'm gonna stream next time and stuff. So yeah. So bye. Thank you for watching.